Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David, and in this video I'm going to show you how to play the game Lone Wolves, a two-player trick-taking game where the players will complete alongside 5 territories to score the most points at the end of the game. And even if you lose the trick, you still get something. So please let me show you how it's played. This board with the 5 territories will be placed between the players. On each of these territories you will place 1 territory token. These are double-sided tokens with different numbers. And you place them random with either side up, 1 on each territory. Also on each territory you will place 3 scar tokens. 2 of them will be face down, 1 of them will be face up. And the 3 tokens you have left will return to the box. There's a moon token and a blood moon token that we'll put aside for now. They will arrive later in the game. And then there are the cards. The other side of the board has an advanced side. I'll show you at the end of this video. The deck of cards consists of all the 5 colors, going from number 2 up to number 7. So 2 is the puppy and number 7 alpha wolf. Also number 2 and number 3 have a special ability. I'll show you in a moment. And on the back side of all the cards are these lone wolves, and they are worth 1 strength point to conquer the territories. So these get shuffled and each player will receive 13 cards. That means each game you will have 4 cards remain that will not be looked at and also return to the box. So each player gets 13 cards. This also means we will play 13 rounds because we'll play 1 trick each round. And the player who will survive the longest out in the wild will be the starting player. And for the remainder of the game, the winner of the trick will start the next round. And when you're the starting player, you'll simply play 1 card from your hand on your side of the board and you place it at any territory. You don't have to match the color. You can simply place the yellow wolf at the green territory if you want. And so the basic of trick taking, because the starting player plays the yellow card, the other player has to play also a yellow card if he has some. In this case, that player doesn't have a yellow card, so he can place any card he wants, but he will lose the trick because he does not play the color that was asked for. So maybe that's a nice moment to play a low number card. Your opponent can also place the card anywhere along his side of the territories where you want. He doesn't have to match the territory that you place your card, so maybe that player will place the blue card over here. The player who played the highest numbered card in the color that was asked for, so in this case yellow was the leading color. The other player didn't play a yellow card, so this player has won the trick. My opponent could only win the trick by playing a number yellow 5, 6 or 7. When you win the trick, nothing happens on your side, but on the other side, the other player has to flip his card face down, the card that was just played that lost the trick. And so now this will be worth only 1 strength point at this side of the territory. But the loser also wins because that player gets to take 1 of the scar tokens from the board and puts it somewhere on his territory. And also the token you take doesn't have to place at the territory where you lost your trick. You can place it anywhere on your side of the board, in any territory. And you can choose to take a face up token so that you know what you get, or you can choose to take 1 of the face down tokens. For instance, that player takes this token, gets a look at it and places it somewhere on his territories. In this case I'll put it over here. And I'll first tell you the basics of the game and then we're going to look at the tokens, because then they make more sense. So the winner of the trick keeps his card face up, the loser of the trick puts his card face down and can take a token at the territory where the card is flipped down. Both cards can be played anywhere, and also the token you get can be placed anywhere on your side of the board. This card number 4 is now worth 4 points of strength to compete for this territory, and the winner of the territory at the end of the game will take the token that is on that territory. In this case it will be worth 7 points. On the other side you can see the token is worth 12 points, and some of these tokens allow you to flip a territory token to the other side. So if I'm sure I'm gonna win this territory, I might try to get a token that lets me flip this one to the 12 points, so I get more points at the end of the game. And of course, if you're losing a territory, you might want to change the territory token to a lower number, so that your opponent will score less points. Since this player has won the trick, he will also be the starting player for the next trick, and maybe he will play a number 7 of green. And here are 12 points to win from this territory, so that player might place the number 7 over here. So again, this player has to follow the color and has to play a green card should he have one. And he has even 2, so he can choose. So he must play one of these 2, and I'll show you the number 2 special card right away, because number 2 lets you win from number 7 only from the same color. So if I place this number 2 anywhere over here, and again I can place it anywhere I want, I don't have to match the same territory, so maybe I'll put it over here. And although number 7 is the highest card, the number 2 of the same color beats that card. So in this case I lost the trick and I have to flip my card face down. Letting me take one of the tokens from this territory. In this case I'll take this one. This will give me 1 strength for each card in this territory at my side of the board. So I'll place it over here. And this player gets to keep his card face up, being worth 2 points of strength. And so game continues. There can only be 6 cards at any territory. Once a 6th card is placed at the territory, that territory is done, closed, and you cannot add any more cards to it. It could be 3 cards on either side, or 4 or 5 cards on my side and 2 or 1 cards on this side. Doesn't matter, 6 cards is the max. And like I said, the leading player will choose a color, and that color has to be followed. And if you can't follow the color, you can play any card you want, but you will lose the trick. However, here comes the trump. Whenever a 3rd token is removed from the territory, so let's say we've played some cards and we've lost some tricks over here. When all 3 scar tokens are removed from a territory, you will place the full moon token on that territory. The winner of the territory will score 5 points at the end of the game, but also this color now becomes the trump color. So if my opponent plays a black card, a black number, and I don't have any black wolves anymore, I cannot follow his color, so I would lose the trick unless I play the trump color. In this case it's yellow, and I can play any yellow card I want, and I will automatically win the battle. If I had a black wolf, I had to play a black wolf, but if I cannot follow the color, I can play any card I want, and if I choose to play the trump color, I win the trick. And then that player has to flip his card face down and takes 1 token. When all scar tokens are removed from a territory the 2nd time, then we'll place the blood moon token on that territory. This will be worth 3 points at the end of the game for the player who wins that territory, but also that becomes the new trump color. So yellow is no trump color anymore, now it is green. And so we're playing 13 turns until all cards are placed on both sides of the territory, and then we're going to count our points. The player who has the most strength on his side of the territory will score the territory token, but also these scar tokens can give you extra point or strength points at the end of the game. And then of course the player who has the most points is the winner of Lone Wolves. And in case of a tie, the player who has the most Lone Wolf cards, so the cards face down, that player wins, and if that's still a tie, we'll have to play another game. But that's the basic of the game. Each player plays 1 card. The player who loses the trick gets to flip his card face down. It will worth only 1 point of strength, but he can take a token that always will give you some benefit. There can be at most 6 cards at each territory, and the number 2 and 3 cards are special. The number 2 cards you already saw. This number 2 will defeat the number 7 of the same color, so I cannot defeat another color number 7 only if it's the same color. So it's very nice if you have both the 7 and the 2 of one color in your hand, so you know this card cannot be beaten by the number 2, only by a trump color. Also, the number 3 has a special ability. When you place the number 3 card at any territory, you immediately flip one of the face down tokens if there are still face down tokens left. One of them you will flip face up, so all players can see what that token is. And those are the only 2 cards, number 2 and 3, that have a special ability. Now let's see all the tokens. They are very important because they can score you a lot of points or strength at the end of the game. If it's a white number, it means strength. If it's a black number, it will mean points at the end of the game. So in this case, this token, if I put it on my side of a territory, I will score 1 extra strength point for each card that is on that side of the territory. So in this case, I would have a strength of 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 1 strength point for each card, so another 3 points will be added. And this card token simply gives you plus 3 strength on the territory that you place this token. And so the player with the most strength at the end of the game on one side of the territory will score this honor token. Should there be a tie at any territory, then that territory will not be scored. You will not score this honor token. Only points from tokens should you have some over there. And there's also this token. This will let you flip that honor token. So if I think I'm gonna win this territory, I can place this token on my side of the territory. That allows me to flip the token. So going from 7 up to 12 points. And then we have the tokens that will give you points at the end of the game. So you don't look at the strength anymore, simply at the points. This one will score you 1 point for each card on your side of the territory. So in this case, 3 points for this one. This token will score you 2 points at the end of the game for each lone wolf on that side of the territory. So in this case there are 2 cards, so that's already worth 4 points. So also if you have this token on your side of the territory, you might want to place some cards over here that will lose the trick, so you get to score another 2 points. Maybe you can collect 2 of them, and then each card already is worth 4 points. So these tokens can acquire quite some points. And the third variant of that token is this one. This card token will give you 2 points for each card that is face up on your side of the territory. So in this case 3 cards is 6 points. A lone wolf card does not count. Then we have this one. You will score 3 points at the end of the game for each card with value 2, 3 or 4 face up on your side of the territory. So if I place it over here, I have a number 4 and 3 here. So that's worth 6 points. And the final token is this one. If you win the territory and you have this token on your side, you will score an additional 5 points. And those are all the tokens that are in the game, and there are multiple of each token. So it might not be bad to lose a trick, because they can really give you some nice scoring opportunities with these scar tokens. And finally, I will show you the other side of the board. That's the so-called advanced mode. And you can recognize it on the scar symbol on the left bottom. No rules change, but only the tokens go a little different. Because over here you can see, if you place a token over here, it will cover 2 territories. So if I place the +3 token over here, I will get +3 strength on each of these 2 territories. My opponent can do so on this side of the territory, so covering 2 territories at once. And also on my side of the board there are only 2 spaces available at this territory and 3 on this one. And my opponent has only 2 tokens available at this side, at this territory, and 3 tokens on this side. Oh, and on this side you will put 3 tokens face down and 1 face up instead of 2 face down. That's the difference with the normal mode. It makes the placement of the scar tokens even more tactical. And that is how you play Lone Wolves, a trick-taking game for 2 players, where you try to get as much strength as possible on your side of the territories to score the honor tokens. Because the player with the most strength on each territory will score the points for that territory, but also the scar tokens can give you a lot of points, and you can get 1 scar token by simply losing the trick. And somewhere along the game the trump will arrive that will give you extra points to score, and also introduces a trump color based on the territory where all tokens have been taken first. If you have any questions about this game, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. My name is David, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.